Well, I'm very grateful for having a few minutes for presenting this book to you. As you will see, it is a joint effort by me and by Bruce Caldwell, who many of you will know is the general editor of the collected works of Friedrich Hayek. It is only the first part, and we hope that we will publish the second volume in the not-too-distant future. And if you look at the cover, you will see it is not Hayek, the prof at the study, but it is Hayek in lederhosen, which means it is not primarily an intellectual biography, but a personal biography. And as such, it rests on three pillars. We have three different points of view on Hayek. The first one is we concentrate on his intellectual achievements. Then we look at his academic career. And at last, we have written a lot about his private life. Turning to the first one, well, if you read the book and with regard to his intellectual achievements, you will meet a lot of the usual suspects, so to say. You will hear something about his contributions to the Austrian theory of money, of capital, and of the cycle. You will follow him to the LSE and his battle with Keynes over policy. We have, of course, taken note of his critique of collectivist economic planning, with his emphasis on the division of knowledge and with what he called the marvel of the price system. And then we continue with what he called his war effort, the abuse of reason project, which in the end led him to the publication of his best-selling book, The Road to Serfdom. And finally, he, from the 1930s onwards, he tried to further a kind of new liberalism, and this led him to the foundation of the Montpellier Society in 1947. These are all well-known facts and things, but there are also some surprises. You may not have known that during the war, he spent 2 months in Gibraltar in a mission for the British government to write a report on the housing problem. He dutifully delivered the report, and it was quickly filed away. Regarding his academic career, we start with his study at the University of Vienna. Then he was, as you all know, working at the Austrian clearing office headed by Ludwig von Mises, spent a 1-year research trip at the United States, and when he came back, he soon became the director of the Austrian Institute for Business Cycle Research. In 1931, he got a visiting professorship at the LSE, which soon was turned into a regular full professorship, and he stayed at the LSE until the next almost 20 years. And he also collaborated there with Lionel Robbins, one of his closest friends. In 1950, he moved to Chicago, and in this move to Chicago is linked with events in his private life. And this is the third pillar on which our book rests. And concerning his private life, we discuss such things like his emancipation from the political background of his family, how he debated with family members and with friends and others the rise of Hitler and of National Socialism, or how he supported his friends from Vienna after the Anschluss when they tried to flee from Austria and to emigrate to Britain or to the United States. However, in his private life, the most serious story is what we titled Domestic Affairs. And under this title, we discuss why did Fritz Hayek and Helene or Lena Bitterlich, why did they in the 1920s, why did they not marry each other, but each married someone else? How did they react when in the 1930s they discovered that they had committed a mistake? And how came it about that in 1950, Hayek ended up in a second marriage, and after having burned all the bridges behind him, moved to Chicago with his second wife? Well, all the answers are, of course, in the book. And my partial judgment is, although it has 800 pages, it might perhaps be worth reading it. Thank you.